republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Take the fun out of it. Okay, regular meeting minutes, May 6th.
I need to push.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's
right,
right.
yes.
Were we, Jackie? No,
Yeah, Jack, but.
We don't have a.
We don't have three
quorum
people
for
for
it.
attendant.
okay. That's right, you were over there and you didn't attend, that's right. Okay,
And that would
motion to
be,
table.
and that would be the annual meeting and regular.
Oh, that's,
meeting.
yep,
It should be.
okay.
I'll make them. I'll second.
All in favor?
Right.
Good catch, thank you. B, approval, Novinium agreement, which is a line injection.
I'll make the motion to. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passing, I vote aye as well.
Yep.
Item C is accepting elected retirement.
I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And thank you very much for Kimball in advance for 20 years of service to the village. Greatly appreciated, and we'll be staying on with us afterwards part-time. Okay, and I vote well. And item D is comp plan commission appointments. It is Jackie and Katie.
Make the motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item E.
That was your chance to say no. You blew it out.
Item E, Lake Placid Volunteer Fire Department elected officials.
I make the motion.
All in favor?
I really just acknowledge, yeah. Yes.
As well. Item F, Northwood School Ironman race course installation.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And anything else come from the court?
Yeah. One more item. The village attorney recommended that you all officially approve of the engineering scope of services cost proposal for feeder ratings and substation evaluation.
I'll
Was
make
that-
the motion. The PLM. Yeah. And yeah. Transparency, yeah. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well. Anything else to
No,
come?
that's all.
And that motion was authorized to sign that agreement?
Yeah, I think, the, will sign.
Oh.
Or, well, I guess, or Kimball.
Or
will
it's the
sign
Kimball or
on
the mayor,
behalf
I
of-
think somebody should be authorized to sign it.
July.
Yeah.
Well, you're right here, so
We have it? Here? Okay,
I
so,
thought. Find it last
Some of
week.
some of the order.
why don't we make the motion was to have me,
yeah, sign the
Okay.
deal, the liaisons.
okay. And, item 3 is treasury items. Full warrant affidavit number 18,
I'll second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye as well. Jackie, anything under new business? Anything under old business? Anything under mayor items? Commissioner report? And Leslie.
Yes, so 2 weeks ago, we discussed the lack of enforcement because the DA just isn't going to deal with laws as far as enforcement.
I'll be more specific.
That-
Yeah, but
Okay.
you're not saying what I thought you say, so be more specific. Last
So
time you said something about
we
the
came
dark
to
sky
that-
initiative and.
so we came to the conclusion that the DA will not enforce laws.
Okay.
Right, Janet had mentioned that specifically that they just won't do enforce local laws. There's gotta be a threshold, and I'd like to know what the threshold is.
We're changing everything that was listed as criminal to civil. Which changes.
The DA doesn't prosecute civil, he only prosecutes criminal, right?
That's the.
So how does that change? I don't understand.
So the criminal has very specific deadlines. If you were the prosecutor, you have to present the defendant. information within a very short period of time of their arrest. And,
Yeah,
we
in a
don't have-
timely manner, yeah.
yeah, more than a.
It's 72 hours.
Yeah, 72 hours. It's just like any other criminal action, violation of the law.
Okay,
And we don't have the capability to do that. And every time somebody's given a ticket, then somebody, like me, or somebody else would have to turn around and take on, just like the DA does, serve them with all the evidence that you've got against them, 72 hours. So are in the process of, it doesn't make sense for the violation of most of our local laws to be criminal offenses.
I agree.
Somebody's gonna get a misdemeanor. or
yeah,
something.
that just.
So we're going to make them all civil penalties, which means they would go to court just like any other civil action, without all the pitfalls, I will really call them, or requirements in a criminal setting.
Okay,
Where the burden, will, is on the prosecutors to prove how bad the person was with very specific deadlines. That's not the case. Although the burden is still on the prosecutor to
Mhm.
prove the violation under civil action. We don't have those very tight deadlines under that would be under the criminal procedure law.
so how would that be enforced? Is so if somebody, so if I got a fine for $100, whatever, and I just don't pay it and say, heck with it,
That would be a civil action brought in village court.
and then what happens if I just don't bother paying it?
Well, if the court issues an order that you pay it, then we have maybe there'd be a judgment
So it
against
would
you.
go as far as a judgment,
Correct, and
that's something that would definitely.
judgment that would be filed in the county courts of. You probably realize that in any civil action, you can get the judgment against the person, collecting it is another story.
Exactly,
But that's the way our system works. So at least with the judgment, file it in the county clerk's office, maybe person has real property. so
Put a
comes
lien on
with
the
real property.
Yeah.
You can garnish wages if you have a judgment, you can,
okay,
restrain the bank accounts.
so all right, this is good.
Yeah. It's not good, but that's
Well,
the process.
it's better.
Yeah.
Now, this is obviously a change in the code. We have to go through all the public hearing and stuff again?
Yes. And so we have to systematically go through each ordinance that has a criminal penalty and change it to civil.
So we're looking at, by the time you do the public hearings and all this other heavy stuff that you gotta do. All right,
It's not.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's
not
nice,
big,
sign
yeah,
the
right.
paper, sign the paper.
Right. And, to be honest, we don't have a lot of enforcement actions against people. Usually the, most people, when you approach them, or you on them, they comply. But
Yeah.
there are the few that don't.
Well, my thought is, I don't wanna be the person that's doing something illegal, I want my way to try and do it the right way. But it seems like
might
I
be in
didn't
the
have to up
minority.
until now.
And the village does and has prosecuted offenders do not. We have pending litigation right now, with people who are in violation of civil laws.
So how long is it gonna take? So this is, the town board also has to be on board with this also.
No, because our local laws are our local laws. We're not talking about necessarily the land use code at this point. We're talking about every other ordinance that we have on our books. That's from parking to junk cars.
Well, what about the land code ordinance? Says it's all criminal.
I'm not sure.
yes, we are, there's a separate committee working on the land use to review each things, and as we go through, we will then change criminal to civil.
I don't, yeah, I don't think the ST part of the code is criminal.
No,
That's when that was instituted.
right, civil.
So, and you know, Leslie, that periodically there are technical changes made to the land use code. There were just 3 or 4, 5 of them made 2 months ago. And that will continue because the land use code is a working document. Never
Well,
passed. in country.
What was appropriate in 1800 is certainly not appropriate
That's
now,
correct.
everything changes,
And maybe what was appropriate last year.
is not appropriate,
Yes.
exactly, I get that.
Also, the question, there were 2 questions you had last week. The other one was on Dark Sky Initiative.
Yes.
And you probably just heard that Jackie and Katie are appointed to be liaisons or appointed to the comp plan. And,
I did not get that.
okay, and Katie is going to be bringing up the dark. You want to speak to that?
Yeah, so I think there were a number of things that were listed that community setting thought was helpful or important. Want us to either continue doing or look at developing. And kind of as the predecessor to the comp plan process, there was already a lot of work going on in the dark sky space. Unintended. From the previous comp plan carried. And so I think that we're thinking about what are the groups, how do we continue to tap into and work with that are already doing things that align with the comp plan, and then also what the groups need to be stood up to support that forward.
Is this part of the whole, because I know the governor had started some type of initiative for the dark skies. I had read somewhere, simply recent, is this because of the whole New York State thing? Or is this
Oh, I
something we're
think this-
doing because we are lost in town, we should have dark skies?
This predates all that. I think that there's started off, there's a volunteer group who was doing some research and looking at what dark sky certification looks like, and supporting businesses with information about how they can change their lighting to support dark sky initiatives, and including some of the swaps, and they work with Order, we work with others. So
Is this beyond the village that
yes.
we're looking at?
Well, I mean, I think that the comp plan work, that certainly has been a joint effort between Elba and Village, like Placid. But I think that obviously if it came down to specific, then, both the town and the village need to look at them and need to put something forward, and they may or may not be the same.
And I think it's safe to say that where we can, we try to have the village and town rules the same for me. But there are times where they just differ.
Well, sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
That's right. So then we have deviated, so we always follow that. But I would say, yeah,
They follow us.
And to be honest, so far, that a lot of the work has been done, through conversations, and, again, a lot of the area businesses are happy to do that. And I think it's been working with them to figure out, how to do and achieve the lighting that they need, do it in a way that has less impact on sort of their neighbors, and on, kind of like vision that is more wasteful.
You weren't here when Leslie, weeks ago,
No.
because Leslie had a specific property in mind. That is,
The U-Haul military is that
Okay.
right.
I've seen.
now,
That's saving you electricity. You just shut the lights off in your house. So
We don't turn the lights on. Parts of our house that are actually electric are almost exclusively using our propane fireplace for heat.
I'm just kidding. I meant you didn't have to turn your lights on in the house because it's coming in.
I don't have to use a flashlight at night around the property down on that side of the property.
Wow.
I literally don't
you
need a
weren't here,
flashlight.
Katie, when she
But thank you for a lot of time.
know what. At least one issue has been brought to us, which is property in the town.
Well, and I think it's also fair to say, looking into the ability of it, we're immediately applying for it. what if one of the requirements is we can't have street lights on Main Street this winter? I mean, so we wanna look at the practicality of what it really means.
If you drive to Pepper Lake on any given night, they have streetlights. They have, all of their businesses have lights.
Do they have lights like we do on Main Street? That's what I
I
said,
really
we
don't
just
know.
wanna look into this to make sure we're not
But
committing to
it's
something.
that Summer Lake, but they follow the dark side because they have the observatory right there.
Like I said, we just wanna look in to see what we're getting into before we do.
Yeah.
And not just immediately start applying, so that's the direction.
And I think regardless, the work of the group it's not an all or nothing, that certification or bust. So, I think, like I say, they've been doing a lot of really great work outside of that.
And it's helpful that the governor is looking for dark sky, because that means all in compliance with the governor, I would think.
I think a lot of that was the electric bills. Turn off the lights, like on top of 5.
Look,
Yeah,
Anything else?
no, that answered that was very helpful, Janet, thank you so much. Hopefully that will happen sooner than later.
Okay, no executive session tonight, and anything else?
We just had guests join.
Someone just came on online, do you have any questions for the board? Okay, there are no other questions, anything else from the board members? Or Jan? Okay, motion to adjourn,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Hey.
Thank you very much for your time.